Welcome back to the Boytime channel. Today, we're doing Andy Shauf, The Party. This is your pick.
Wow. This is my pick. Yeah, I'm very excited. I mentioned that last time we're going to be spending a little bit of a time where I've tried to piece together some sort of narrative and chronological order because I don't think the tracks are in chronological order,
Okay.
and they jump around all over the place. So I've done that, I've written it down. And I've also listened to more of Andy Shauf's stuff, and I found out that there's more to this tale.
Mm,
It continues in uh, his album The Wilds, or just Wilds, came out in 2021. The last song on that album is Jeremy's Wedding, who is a major character in this
narrative.
album. So, yes, fun stuff. But I think just generally, what did you think? I've been anxious to hear.
Very good. I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Sling, which is a good thing.
Oh,
Sling
okay.
and Charm, I suppose. That kind of singer-songwriter, but like kind of almost 70s
Oh,
influenced, kind of chill.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was like a band named Sling, and I'm like,
No.
I am not aware. Okay, yes, the Clairo albums.
Yes, which is a good thing because those albums are fantastic.
Yeah,
This is great too. I definitely did not listen to the lyrics for like the first couple of times because God
that's the way to
knows
do it.
that anybody can know what he's saying when you first start listening to him.
Yes,
So there is a very interesting dialect he's got going on there.
he's Canadian.
Oh, okay, okay,
That's probably it. The
that's
Weekend sounds just like that
yeah,
too.
exactly. They're basically the same.
It's the same guy.
But yeah, I found it very replayable, very enjoyable. So I had a great time
Yeah,
at the party.
nice. Oh, you seem to be the only one.
I guess so. Yeah, this is
Everyone,
a tragic.
it's a bummer.
Hmm.
This album is kind of a bummer if you listen to the lyrics. I think by the end, like, because there was like 2 months where I was listening to this like every single day, and for a good month of that, I was like really broken by Martha Sways.
Mm,
I'm like, geez, this is so cheating sad,
hmm.
but it is nice.
Hmm.
It is very nice. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I wasn't like worried, but you know, I kind of get this thing where if I like something too much, I'm a little bit worried to bring it to the show, and then you're gonna just shoot it down and say that it's terrible. Not that you've ever done that really, but I'm just always in fear
Always
that you're gonna,
paranoid.
or maybe the people online will think that I'm a big dummy,
Mm,
but I don't care about that.
nobody
So
watches us anymore, anyways. So this is a free
that's
zone.
right. That's right.
I've
Which is
relinquished us
nice.
from our chains by being lazy and not consistently grinding YouTube for 5 years of my life,
That's fine.
which is good.
It is good. Well, should we save my interpretation for the end, or do we want to start with that?
Mm. Let's get through our usual stuff, and then we'll do
Okay.
that as a little send off.
Yes, that sounds good to me.
Not to influence my tracks, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
you
like they
don't
would,
want
but
that. Yeah, so I guess we'll start with you. But what are your favorite tracks of this thing?
this is a pretty consistent album to the point where I had to like be like, okay, what's this song sound like again? Because I kind of just like hit play
Yeah.
on it and just let it go. Um, Early to the Party's really good though. I really enjoy that. All of these are like the ones that just like stand out in my best tracks where I'm like, ooh, that instrumental is interesting.
Yeah.
So I really like the vibe of that one. Eyes of the Mall is great. He's really good on choruses. Like he does a great
Yes.
job with that. I'm just surprised how catchy that stuff is. Like they're incredibly memorable choruses. It really helps the tracks kind of tell each other apart. And then I don't know. I put Alexander All Alone, but I want to like do a twofer with Martha Sways. Just the two closing
Oh,
songs on the album are just very, very, very good.
yeah,
Yeah, two very different vibes, but they're both kind of downers at the end, and I'm like, I really like that.
kinda.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna try to with my version of it. I tried to spin the end as a
Okay.
little bit more positive. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, my favorite tracks are I think number one is Martha Sway's.
Hmm.
Number two is probably Quite Like You, even though that was one that I listened to and loved, and then I read the lyrics and I'm like, uh-oh, this is weird and creepy. Um, which is kind of the case with a lot of these songs.
Hmm.
But and then I think I'm gonna have Early to the Party as my number three too. I'm kind of surprised looking at this on Spotify. Well, I guess the streams aren't like super crazy on here anyways, but Early to the Party is not one of the big ones.
Interesting.
And I'm kind of shocked.
It's the
I'm
most
like that
recognizable one.
I think so. The most streamed are it's far and away The Magician, and
Okay.
then a
The
ways
first
back
song.
is the first song, and then the second most streamed is Quite Like You,
Okay.
um, and then everything else has
Interesting.
under 10 million. So who even cares?
That's still a lot. I was expecting less from him, stream wise, but I guess I could see this
Yeah,
being a kind of like niche area.
it kind of is. I don't know. I've been kind of shocked, like looking for stuff about him online, and
Hmm.
there's like he has a subreddit that is like fairly active, but like I was trying to find like other people's interpretations, and I was struggling,
Hmm.
which is why I did mine because I'm like I think it'll at least something out there trying to
True.
interpret this thing would be nice. So, yeah. What songs did you hate, huh?
I don't know if I really hated any of them. I put Begin Again as my worst track just because I didn't like the sound of it as
Mm,
much. I think compared to the rest of the songs, it's not as dynamic as them, but it is like smack
yeah,
dab in the middle of the album. And then, like, Quite Like You and The Worst in You are both pretty good. So it's not even like that much of a dip. That's the only
yeah.
one I put down as like, I don't know if I would like go towards that one if I were to play this out of sequence, which I wouldn't because I think this is an album where I only play the album and I don't ever put the songs into a playlist somewhere,
Oh yeah.
just because it adds to everything when you just let it go. So, but that's the only thing I had
Yeah.
down. I feel like everything else here is pretty dang consistent.
I think I would agree with you. That's the one song that like I don't really like narratively. It's an important song
Hmm.
to the tale, but it is whatever. It's fine. But I don't know. That's like one kind of dud for me on the whole album, which is pretty good,
True, true.
I think.
It's pretty dang Loctite. There's not a lot of filler
Yeah,
in here at all.
I agree. I agree. What was your best moment on the album, huh?
The ending's great. I always, I like the softer kind of instrumental endings. So this album
Hmm.
obviously has that. But yeah, that back half is just really, really fantastic. I think To You through Martha Swayze is really great. But I just kind of like wrote down the cohesiveness of everything. Like it's very Loctite and like stays on
Yeah.
topic for what the album is, but at the same time, like it doesn't feel like it's like bending over backwards to try to get to that point. Like it just feels like a very natural, like, here's my 10 tracks. I'm doing a story in them. The songs are different enough where they're not like samey at all. And it kind of
Yeah,
keeps you in it for the entire time, which 37 minutes, perfect runtime for it too. Does not overstay its welcome at all. So yeah,
absolutely.
just very cohesive.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that he does really, really well. Like, I don't like there aren't a lot of like bloated albums from him.
Hmm.
I guess the only ones that I've listened to are this and then Norm and then Two, which is the Fox Warren. The second Fox Warren album is just
Okay.
called Two. And then the album that came out right before this, I listened to yesterday for the first time, The Bearer of Bad News, which is pretty dang good too.
Okay.
But all of those are like 10 or 11 tracks each. And like each one is like longest one is maybe 4 minutes.
Perfect.
It's just really really nice, easy listening stuff. So yeah, I think that's definitely a highlight. But for me, I think the transition from Alexander All Alone into Martha Sways,
Hmm.
where it's just like all this like crazy bombastic stuff going on, and then it's just a finger plucked guitar. It's perfect.
Right.
It's like the best way that this album can end. So I think that's my favorite moment is the come down. So
Epic.
I don't remember the other prompts.
Uh, hot takes, which I don't have any because I don't really have a basis for what would be a hot take in this situation, but it's a very good album.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I think in general, I'm just like my hot take, if this is even one, is that he's just vastly underrated. Like
I would say I've never
he
heard of
he
him.
I know, I'm like because I listened to this album first, and I think I saw the album maybe on like album of the year or maybe Magician came up automatically
Hmm.
or something. But I remember seeing that album cover and being like, that's interesting. And then I listened to it for the first time, and I don't think I really got it, which is weird because this is like so up my alley. It's crazy. It wasn't until like a couple months later when I revisited it that I was like, oh, this is something special.
Hmm.
And so, like, I think the album cover is fantastic. And it's like, it does disprove my narrative, which we'll get to, but it is nice. My, uh, Before we get into that, it's just I should just say that my narrative is false. It's not true, but it's fine to me.
Don't put in the comments that it's wrong. We
I know
know.
that it's wrong. Well, I think it's the album cover and then there's like the description for the album on like the official store
Mm,
where it's like basically says that every single track is from the perspective of a different character,
hmm.
and I don't think that's true.
Okay.
So we'll see.
From my cursory listens, that definitely makes a lot of sense. So I'm in to that. The official reading of the album.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um, okay. What else is there?
I think that's it.
Uh, that's it. Hot takes. That's it.
Hmm.
Okay. Then we can jump into my telling of this tale.
Yippee.
So, chronologically, we start off with the magician being first. Our main character is Alexander, believe it or not,
I don't.
because he kind of dies at the end. But
Allegedly.
we'll get there when we get there. Alexander and his girlfriend are on the way to the party, and then he sees a magician, and it kind of reflects his plans because he is going to be asking out Jeremy and
Hmm.
2U.
Hmm.
We move on to early to the party, where they arrive early to the party,
As
and
stated.
there's like, as stated, there's like some pretty clear statements of lyrics in the line or in the song that point to this being the same character in 2U, where it's like, is there something where he's like asking like why is he always so late, and then it's also the he arrives with all of his friends, he's talking shit, he never thinks of you, where
Hmm.
it's like that the whole song is like in second person where it's addressed to Alexander. But also, the reason why I think Alexander is in a hetero relationship is the chorus of Early to the Party, which is Bird on the Wall, Watcher calling all the shots, tying you in knots. Basically, she's in charge, and he's like not really in the relationship, but she kind of won't let him go, i.e., tying him in knots. So he's just like in this relationship essentially to keep up appearances, which one of the few things that I did see about this album was someone was making claims that this was like a town in which it was like very negatively associated to be homosexual, which is why he was covering it up with his
Hmm.
girlfriend. I don't know if I believe that 100% because that interpretation did end with one of Jeremy's friends beating Alexander to death and Alexander all alone and having the like cigarettes kill him as like a red herring or something. And he was
Hmm.
actually assaulted. I don't really like that, so I'm not going to
This is like
interpret
the
it that
Clue
way.
movie. You get four
Yeah.
endings.
I'm like, I don't like that. So I'm just not gonna talk about it. But that is like the first little foreshadowing that Jeremy is not going to accept Alexander's proposal into you because he says never thinks of you at all.
Hmm.
So I don't know if like it's implying that Alexander also knows that, but he just needs to do this to be himself. I don't know. I think there's room for interpretation there, but we'll move on. The third track chronologically, believe it or not, is Begin Again.
Okay.
This so this album, there's three protagonists, or I guess perspectives that the album follows. It's Alexander, it's Sherry, which is Jeremy's girlfriend, and an unnamed friend of Jeremy. But we'll get there when we get there.
Mr. X.
Actually, we'll call him Mr. X. And Mr. X is actually the narrator for Begin Again. I forgot that it was this
Okay.
song. But this is when Jeremy and his friends first show up to the party. Sherry essentially is like, you and your friends are drunk because you were out pre gaming. I'm just going to stand off to the corner. We'll get to her because her perspective is the next song. But Begin Again is important because Jeremy basically just wanders into this party and then loudly starts saying that he's cheating on Sherry with some random girl, which is a funny thing that he's just like so stupid. I don't understand why Alexander wants to be with this guy because he kind of sucks and everyone knows that he sucks.
That's the appeal.
I guess so. I don't know. But the big thing is that Mr. X is pining after the girl that Jeremy is cheating on Sherry with,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. So that's like the reveal at the end of that track, where it's like the town is the size of a dinner plate. It's hard not to overlap. It's also like I don't give a damn about you fooling around behind Sherry's back. It's just the one that you found is the one that I need.
Hmm.
It's like whatever. That's that track. Begin Again is number 3. Number 4 is Twist Your Ankle, which now we're getting back on track. But Twist Your Ankle is from the perspective of Sherry right after she leaves Jeremy's group and he starts making an ass of himself. Everyone is like looking at her and chuckling, whispering rumors, whatever. It's basically getting out that everyone knows that Jeremy is cheating on her except for her, or maybe she does. Again, it's not really clear, but whatever. But she gets upset and she starts crying in the corner right in time for track 5, Quite Like You, which is where we pick up. Where that one is like very explicitly like Sherry is in the corner. And I don't really know. Originally I thought this was Mr. X, and then I went
Mr.
back and I
X.
thought I thought it was Alexander. I think it works both ways for who is the narrator here. I think the case is stronger for Mr. X, just in that like it's set up in the track chronologically before that Mr. X is like pining after Jeremy's mistress, I guess. And so to get back at Jeremy, he's like hitting on Sherry, trying to like kind of take advantage of her in this state, I guess, which is gross. That's probably the more likely one, but also I could see this being Alexander seeing Sherry crying in the corner, tries to be a nice guy, but ultimately sees an opportunity to try to like drive a wedge in between Sherry and Jeremy since he's trying to woo Jeremy, I guess. So I'm going with the assumption that it's Mr. X because that just makes more sense, but whatever. choose what you
Who
want to
knows?
believe. This is a choose your own
It
adventure.
really is goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Okay. Again, the next two tracks take place at the same time. Uh, Eyes of the Mall is next at number 6. This is maybe taking place at the same time as To You, but Sherry is like basically still shaken after being hit on by Mr. X and or Alexander. Sees Martha dancing by herself in the middle of the room, and it's not clear, like there's lines where it's like I could fall for you, so I don't know if Sherry is like developing feelings for Martha or if it's something more like she envies the confidence that Martha has just being able to dance by herself in the middle of the room. I could see it going both ways, honestly, but I like the second one a little bit better, just in that Sherry's having the worst night ever. And she's like, man, I wish I could be that. I could be like Martha, which is sad, but whatever. To You. This one's the most straightforward. I don't need to really interpret anything. It's just Alexander asking Jeremy out, and Jeremy
I
says
got that
no.
one. I got that one.
Yeah, that one's the most straightforward song on this whole thing. Next up is Alexander All Alone. This is after Jeremy leaves, meets Sherry, but we'll get to that. But Alexander has a panic attack where basically he envisions himself dying from the cigarette that he's smoking and is like taken on an ambulance, and the neighbor finds him. The reason why I think this is like metaphorical is that he is still the like narrator of the part where he should be dead, where he's like Alexander is confused as to why his life didn't flash before his eyes. Well, it's because he's just like spiraling and is in a fit, I guess. That's kind of what I think. It's also entirely possible that he does die here, but I don't like that.
I
So
didn't
I'm
get that
choosing.
vibe, but
Yeah, yeah. Or who knows? Maybe one of Jeremy's friends assaults him and then he dies.
hmm
It could be. Could be. Uh, Track 9, chronologically, is The Worst in You, which again jumps. And honestly, I wrote this and then I kind of thought that maybe I should move this and have it be from Alexander's point of view because I think that there might be some decent evidence that it's actually Alexander as the main narrator in The Worst of You. But I'll give the Sherry interpretation first because that's what I originally planned. But Sherry tries to find Jeremy basically like after seeing Martha, and she's just like, I need to get out of here. Like, I just want to leave. She goes upstairs, sees two closed doors, and basically just assumes that Jeremy is cheating because obviously he said it to a room full of a bunch of people. So like I
he's
think she's
bluffing.
like kind of gets it. I don't know. But she basically has like the first chorus is like, why do I always see the worst in you, as like being like a straightforward question, being like, oh, all I see are the worst parts of you because you're a terrible person. But then she goes downstairs and Jeremy is like waiting for her, and it's the same chorus. Why do I always see the worst in you when you were just getting hit on by Alexander? That's a tough question. But that's the end of Sherry's storyline. I also could see this being Alexander's point of view, though, being right before To You, because the one of the opening lines in To You is "I've got smokes if you've got a light," and in The Worst in You, the protagonist loses their lighter because it falls through a hole in their coat. That could be a direct reference. And then this is where the girlfriend essentially comes in, where like he thinks that his girlfriend is cheating on him, and even though this relationship is more or less for show, he's still kind of devastated by the betrayal until he sees his girlfriend downstairs and says, actually I need to go ask out my 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 crush Jeremy, I guess. So I don't know, could be either, but then either way, the last track is Martha Sway's, which picks up after Alexander All Alone. And basically, my headcanon is that Martha finds Alexander basically like freaking out outside, brings him back inside, and starts dancing with him to kind of like bring him back to life, which is a line in the song in the second verse. Or no, in the last verse. It's the last line in the song. She smiles and laughs, bringing me back. To me, this is just like I need this kind of ending for this because I don't want Alexander to be dead. So this is just what I'm choosing to believe. If that's the interpretation that Andy was kind of having in his mind, I don't think so. But this is my way of kind of like piecing together a narrative. But if I'll direct your eyes to the album cover very easily disproves this ending specifically because you can see the couple from Martha Sway's in the album cover, and Alexander is in the album cover as well. He's the guy in the like olive jacket. The cards are the cards that he gets at the magician, and then way in the background you can see Alexander dying and then his spirit kind of coming up.
Or he's
So
doing
this
really
is
aggressive sit-ups.
it could be. It could be. But this album cover basically disproves everything I just said. But it's what I like to believe when I'm listening to it. And it does it I mean, the ending of the album's actually nice
It
if
still
you look at
works.
it through that lens. So that's that.
But that's just a theory.
That is just a theory. A music
Music
theory.
theory. Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha
Ha
ha. That guy
ha
died.
ha. Really?
Not on YouTube anymore.
Well, we're taking his place.
Yeah.
We're ripping him
Yeah.
off.
Call me Matt Pat.
Matt.
Jer Pear, if you will.
Great
Speaking
work.
of, well, that's my interpretation. You like the album. It was pretty good. If you're looking for a place to go after this, I would recommend Fox Warren's 2.
Okay.
If you like that, move on to Norm. Norm is his most recent solo album, and I would encourage you to do the same thing that you did with the party. Give it a couple listens and then read the lyrics for Norm.
That's not
Because
hard to
that is the
do.
it's not hard to do, but when you read the lyrics, it will completely change the way that you see
Okay.
that
Okay.
album. Because I didn't know what was going on for this album. And then specifically the lyrics for the song Sunset.
Okay.
I read that and I was like, holy crap. I had to kind of stop listening to the album for a bit because I was so creeped out.
Nice.
But it's a great album.
That's always a good
It's
sign.
very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good. So that's that. I wish I was in San Francisco. I was looking for tour dates, and he's opening for Father John Misty.
Oh wow.
Believe it or
Who would
not,
have thought?
Wouldn't that be a show? I don't really see a whole lot of overlap between those two, like just tonally.
I could
Father
see it.
John Misty is so like arrogant, and Andy Shauf is just
Yeah.
like a
It's
janitor.
part of his, performance though. I think when it comes to like writing styles and making like not story albums, but like
Mm,
concepts in general, I could see it.
yeah, I guess that's a good point. But it was just like one show or two shows in San Francisco, and I'm not gonna go there. Andy, please come to Minnesota. It's not too far from your Canadian home.
It's true, depending on whatever that is.
I don't know. But what are we going to listen to next time, huh?
I was hemming and hawing a lot about this because I couldn't choose. I gave you a bit of a tough one last time, so I'm going to lay off for one episode.
Thank you.
I want to do the last Nick Drake album that we haven't done yet on the channel. So we're going to do
Oh,
Five Leaves Left.
that's a great choice.
I've been itching for some
Especially,
more Nick Drake.
there probably are about 5 leaves left on the trees
Exactly.
outside
That's
by the
called
time that this
thematic
album comes out.
framing.
That's right. Only 10 songs. Okay, yeah.
So, but that's
Uh-oh.
next. We're having a fit over there. She's not a fan of Five Leaves Left. She's more of a Pink Moon gal.
I guess so. Hey, cool it.
Good.
I'm listening to Nick Drake and there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. Well, he's got like 2 10 out of 10s in my book already, so let's see if he can hit it with the third. We're going backwards in the discography, but I think that's
We
fine.
did.
Um,
We did go backwards.
it's fine.
I saw that they released the making of 5 Leaves Left
Yes.
this year.
Yep.
So I don't know what that
I'm
is.
guessing it's just a box set compilation thing. Yeah, looks like it. There's a whole bunch of
It's
different
like
takes and
demos and
things in
stuff.
here.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was like a documentary that they just, or not even a documentary, but just something like that. Behind the scenes, even.
Behind the scenes. Yeah, there's some like studio sessions and stuff like that, which is
Okay.
interesting. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing next. Kind of stay in the folk lane, but go way back.
All right. That's awesome, dude.
Real. That's it.
This is
She's not done yet.
disaster. Hey,
We have
get over here.
podcasts, I think, still. I think we do those still. We did
We
a
do.
taxi driver episode on the Boy Time podcast because we're film bros and that's what we do.
Yeah, we did do a taxi driver podcast. It was pretty awesome,
It was so
I
cool.
think.
He just like me for real.
Um, he's just like us, and that's what we talked about in the podcast
Yep.
is how similar we were to the main character, Travis Bickle.
Yes. Our
And
audience
then we
is
have,
emotionally intelligent. I hope.
well, I just wanted to pause because his name is Travis Bickle.
It's a great name.
It is a great name. I remember like a couple months ago, I like brought up Travis Bickle, and I'm like, wait, is that the guy's name? Like I had to like double check because I'm like, that can't
It
be
seems
that
fake.
can't be right. Why would the guy's name be Travis Bickle and
Travis
Taxi
Bickle.
Driver? But it's true. It's true. We did that. I also have a podcast called Love Da Mom that I do with my dear mother. Most recently, we watched the film Birdcage, which is a great flick. And next up, we're doing My Neighbor Totoro
A
for
classic.
fun. So that'll be nice. A nice little calm way to bring on winter, which will
Indeed.
be very lovely. So that's all the plugs I have.
That's it. I guess you could say the party's over.
Yeah.